In this video, I'm going to share how and why I made this custom cabinet. I'm going to show you my process and all the mistakes that I made along the way. I'm Josh, this is How to Fix a Workshop. Let's get started. I had an idea for a specific type of cabinet to store and organize some of our exercise equipment. It also needed a spot for my modem and router. I wanted to use just one piece of 4x8 3/4 inch plywood. This is kind of the mid-grade stuff that you can get from Home Depot. I used my track saw to break the plywood down into rough, large pieces. The track saw is one of my favorite tools, and once you get the hang of it, you don't necessarily need a table saw. With so many different size panels and pieces to cut, I use painter's tape and a Sharpie to label them and keep things straight. But you can see here that I'm using my track saw for long and short cuts. I did use my table saw to square up the sides of the pieces and cut them down to their final dimension, but there are adapters for the track saw that can help with this as well, and a table saw is nice, but if you don't have either saw, I would start with the track saw. After cutting down all cabinet panel pieces, I realized I didn't account for a top stretcher. Luckily, I had a scrap piece of plywood that I'm cutting down at the miter saw. I am sort of building this thing on the fly. I do have some basic plans and cut list. I have a really good idea of what I want this to look like, but I'm just a little bit unsure what the interior measurements are going to be. So I'm going to start with building the box. I've got everything cut down, the rough cuts for all the pieces. And now I'm just putting the edge banding on these pieces that are going to make up the exterior of the cabinet and cutting that off and trimming that up, and then I'll be assembling the box together, and that way I can get my more precise measurements for what my drawers are going to be with the drawer slides and all of that. I'm sure I can do the measurements, but I've messed that up so many times that I'd rather be more safe than sorry, and it's a little bit out of order. I should be doing all the cutting at one time, all the edge banding at one time, but I think this is going to work. To assemble the cabinet, I'm going to be using pocket hole screws and glue. Just a couple pocket holes on the underside of the bottom of the cabinet. None of these will be seen. A couple on the bottom side and then a couple on this small stringer. The pocket hole jig is such a valuable tool for cabinet making and fairly inexpensive. It looks like Walmart carries the one I'm using here for less than $70. Assembly is just glue and screws, plenty strong enough for any cabinet. Now the cabinet's basically laying on its back, and I'm just going to add this top bracing that will be also used to attach the top to the cabinet. So it's just going to face up like this, and we'll put the pocket screws in, and we'll be able to attach the top from that, and we'll also be able to recess the back of the cabinet to be able to put the 1/4 inch backing on. The table saw is handy here to carve out a shallow slot in all 4 pieces of each drawer where the 1/4 inch drawer bottom will be. Drawer assembly follows the same process: pocket holes, screws, and glue. I placed pocket holes strategically behind the drawer fronts and outside of the back piece so that they're not visible. If you like this video so far, just give a thumbs up. Don't worry about subscribing. I don't know what I'm going to be building next. Here I'm cutting down the 1/4 inch material that will be used for the drawer bottoms and cabinet back. Again, the track saw could be used here. The drawer bottoms slide into those slots cut by the table saw. I cut completely through the back of the drawer so that the panel can slide through. Then keep it in place with a couple of brad nails. I'm making a solid wood top for the cabinet that will serve as a spot to record workouts in a notebook and a spot to sit our water. It's just 1x8 premium pine edge glued together. I add some biscuits for stability when clamping, but that's not necessary. Once the glue is dried, I cut the cabinet top down to the final length with the track saw. And I use my palm router to round over the cabinet top edge for a softer look and feel. I also used my router to cut a 1/4 inch recess in the back of the cabinet for the back panel. This step is optional, and if I would have skipped it, I would have avoided this tear out. Installing drawer slides can be a bit intimidating, but I think using a scrap piece of plywood to support the slides and begin mounting them on the cabinet helps with alignment for both sides. Then I use some of the 1/4 inch plywood to evenly lift the drawer off the bottom of the cabinet, push it all the way in, then pull out just enough to get the slide revealed and start drilling and adding the slide to the drawer. Finally, I have to pull the drawer all the way out by flipping the black clips so that I can install the last screw before pushing the drawer back in. I was cruising along here and things were going great. Everything was coming together without any issues. And then I went to put the drawer faces on the drawers and I realized I made two really dumb mistakes. One with the drawer faces. I knew that I made the boxes a little bit shorter than the front of the drawers were going to be so that I could fit more things in there. Unfortunately, I stuck the drawers right on top of each other, so that's not going to work. I'm going to need to move this drawer up a couple of inches. The other one was, and this one is just super dumb, didn't even think about it until now. I plan to keep this top section open because this is where my modem and router are going to be. Well, I didn't plan on putting a shelf in here. In hindsight, it would have made more sense to take this bottom piece here and put it up here and just have a couple of stringers in there to keep that stuff together down there because it's not going to be seen and there's going to be legs down there. But I was able to find a piece of scrap wood, some, I don't know what that is, 1x8s that are glued together from a previous project that just so happened to be laying around. And I'll have to cut it down, sand it so that it'll match more closely to this color, and then I'll put that in the center there. So it all works out, not big mistakes, but still a little bit time wasting. The mistakes continue. I cut down the scrap piece for the middle shelf and it didn't align at all. I was off by at least a ½ inch from left to right and couldn't figure out why. Everything on the shelf measured up properly. The sides were even and the same length all the way around, so what I figured out was that if I took my square here and put it on the shelf, you can really start to see how out of square that is. So essentially I made a parallelogram here, which is why it wasn't fitting into the cabinet. So I'm gonna have to trim down just a little bit on both sides. I used the track saw again to trim both sides and got a whole lot closer to within 1/8 of an inch or so. I sanded the old stain off that new middle shelf and gave all the cabinet pieces a light hand sanding before installing the drawer fronts. And what has worked for me to evenly separate the drawer fronts is to use a couple of washers to keep the fronts aligned. I then use squeeze clamps to hold the drawer front in place to attach the front with screws from the inside. This is a shot of the feet and the bottom stretchers. The feet were cut from some scrap red oak and the stretchers were offcuts of plywood. I glued the stretcher pieces together and used glue and panhead screws to attach the feet to the stretcher. Then the 1/4-inch back panel, the feet, middle shelf, and top, installed with Z-clips and screws through the top of the stretcher, were all added to the cabinet. I gave everything a coat of stain and a couple coats of poly. Then I attached the drawer pulls and this thing was done. Thanks for watching.